Welcome to it's the girl Samara, aka Sammy, and welcome back to another video. So, as you probably remember by the title, we are doing a story time today. I feel like it's been a long time since I actually sat down and talked to your camera face to face. So I say yeah, because the girl been out and about in Miami and stuff, you know, giving y'all a little drunk game, giving y'all a little some, switching it up. But I was like, let me give them a story time today. So in today's story time, if you haven't already read by the title, it is going to be, I'm gonna do like a whole UVI series, and I'm gonna have it like the UVI Chronicles, because maybe I got a lot of UVI stories. But on today's episode of the UVI Chronicles, right, we are gonna talk about the time that I got kicked off of campus. Let's get into it. So boom, right? So this was it's October 2021, right? October last year. So my birthday is October 5th. If you hear me like chewing something, I have a little bit of a sore throat right now, so I'm stuck in a hall right now. So if you hear my speech doing crazy stuff, that's why. So boom, right? My birthday is October 5th. I went to Miami on October 7th, right? Keep that in mind. So after the pandemic, UVI on campus like housing rule, because I had moved back to campus for that semester. UVI like on campus housing rules after the pandemic was, if you travel anywhere outside of the territory, which for those of you who don't live in the Virgin Islands, outside of the territory basically means if you travel anywhere besides St. Thomas, St. Croix, and St. John, or Water Island, then you have to notify your RA or your housing advisor, your housing director. That's the word. That's the right word. You have to contact your resident advisor or your housing director to tell them when you're leaving and when you're coming back, right? And when you come back to the island, you have to quarantine for 48 hours, and you can't come back to campus until you bring back a negative COVID test, right? Boom. Keep all that in mind as we move forward with the story, right? So is this recording? Okay, yes. So yes, that's in like the student the housing contract you sign at the beginning of the semester. Bada bing, bada boom, 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 right? So now I told my RA that I was leaving to go to Miami for Miami Carnival on October 7th. And the reason how I could verify that I told her that is because we were practicing for initiation, which initiation is pretty much like a step dance battle between the dorms that turns into a party that kind of kicks off the semester. That's basically what initiation is, and it's a competition, right? So we was practicing for initiation, right? And when we was practicing for initiation, the reason I told her because we was talking about what day was initiation gonna be on, because the Department of Health were moving crazy with the COVID regulations and all of that stuff for them to actually set down on a date for initiation, right? So the date in question was October 8th. So I told her I wonder if they could move it to the week after or to the week before, because I'm not going to be on island on October 8th, because I'm going to be in Miami from October 7th to October 11th. You follow me? Okay. I tell her all of this, right? I'm going to be in Miami, Florida for Miami Carnival from October 7th to October 11th. So I'm not going to be here on October 8th. So that's the verification right there that I already told my RA that I was not going to be on island, right? That I was going off island. Boom. Keep that in mind, right? So now they say initiation is the 8th. I end up missing it. Bada bing, bada boom. It is what it is, right? I'm in Miami now, having a blast, shaking ass, making cash, right? Spending cash, right? And after Miami now, we're in Miami still, sorry. And, you know, I'm still have my laptop. I wasn't really doing no schoolwork, because who doing schoolwork when it's Carnival, baby? Hello. But, you know, whatever. So we're in Miami, you know, shaking ass, all that good shit, having a good old time, right? Juve. We up at Juve, having a time. We had a whole shenanigan about Carnival costumes, because we were having a whole thing with the costume with our boobs and stuff. You know the big titty struggles. Y'all already know the big titty struggles, right? So we were struggling or whatever. We ended up having to like improvise and create the fucking costume with I ended up having a red bathing suit that I just happened to walk with to the trip that had matched with the costume. So me, because I had to end up wearing that, and then my friend Katura had to end up like going to the TJ Maxx. Where was TJ Maxx? Target, whatever it was, to get a different bathing suit. Bada bing, bada boom, right? Cool. So now we got on a boat ride, cool, jumping, everything cool like that, right? And after the boat ride was done, Katura was the designated driver for the trip. So she had ended up having to, she dropped us, she went back to the hotel first. But she had to end up dropping her cousin back to Barry, right? So after that, she ended up sleeping by her cousin by Barry. Because, boom. So anyway, and I having to make shift costumes, bada bing, bada boom, got on the boat ride, bada bing, bada boom, right? So then, she had to end up dropping her friend back to Barry, her cousin back to Barry. She sleep by there, over there, bada bing, bada boom. So now, I coming home from the boat ride, right? Let's say, I come home from the boat ride, right? It's like going on 3-4 o'clock in the morning, right? And after I do all of that, I take off my outside clothes. Of course, I take off all my clothes, I strip, but I didn't go in the shower because I was exhausted. Like, your girl was fat, trying ass. Like, imagine you was in like a straight full body workout for like 2 hours straight, 2-3 hours straight. That's exercise. Like, people think fat is weak. People think fat is just casual. Like, nah, fat is a workout. Like, you don't have to train for fat. Like, fat is fat. Like, your girl was shaking ass consistently for like 2-3 hours straight. Like, your girl was drenched in sweat. She was all tired, all pooped, exhausted, right? And you know, when you're tired like that, when you reach home, you gotta go straight in the shower, because once you hit that bed, it's overweight, right? So I got into the bed, and my first mistake was going to the bed, because I didn't go to the, if I had went straight to the shower, I would have just gone straight in the shower. But the fact that I went in the bed to lay down, I said, yeah, that's it. I was not going in the shower. So I didn't bathe after the event. I don't be in the comments calling me nasty. Don't ever act like you never did that before. You come home from a whole night of festing and you just crash on the bed. And some of you don't even have you don't even take off all your outside clothes. So just, keep it cool, keep it cute in the comments, okay? Don't come for me. Act like you never did that before. But anyway, back to the story, right? What is that about? Oh yes. So I never make it to the shower, right? I ended up dropping asleep. So we reached back to St. Thomas now, because the boat ride was Sunday night and we were leaving to go back home Monday morning, right? Well, Monday afternoon-ish, right? Boom. So I reached back home to St. Thomas now, and when I reached back home, I was home for the night, for the Monday night, but I went back to campus on Tuesday morning before I had gotten a COVID test, right? And that was before I had started to feel any symptoms. Like, I was cool, I was straight chilling. So I had basically just come home the Monday morning, and then I had my mother drop me back to campus the Monday night, sorry. And then I gave my cousin them whatever I had buy for them, and I had my mother drop me back home the Tuesday morning before she went to work or whatever, right? So, Tuesday morning, whichever Tuesday. It was Tuesday she dropped me back home to UVI. So now Wednesday I start to feel a little sick. Like, I start to feel bad. My throat has started to itch, you know what I'm saying? And I had started to feel myself coming down with something. You know, you could feel like the early effects of you getting sick. Like, your throat start itching, your nose start to get a little clogged up. And you could feel the sickness. Your body start to get aches. Like, I was getting all the symptoms. My body was aching, my throat was itching, my nose was clogged up. I was getting all the symptoms, right? So I ended up telling my aunt about how I was feeling, and she ended up taking me to go take a COVID test. So now, when I went to go take the COVID test come back positive. Okay, here's where everything goes down. This is the point where everything just went to shits, alright? COVID test come back positive, right? Your girl got COVID, right? So I had to go back to campus, and I had to end up calling my housing director, calling my RA, telling them, hey, I have COVID. I just came back and I got tested positive for COVID or whatever. Mind you know, in my dorm, right, I'm living all the way on the bottom floor, and in the bottom floor there's only 2 suites, right? There's only 2 rooms on the bottom floor, not even suites, rooms. 2 rooms on the bottom floor. I didn't have a roommate at the time. It was only me in the room, and they only had one other girl that was living across the hall in the other room, so we were sharing a bathroom. But mind you know, we was only in the bathroom we was only sharing a bathroom for that one day, and then on Wednesday when I was starting to feel myself feel sick, I did not leave my room for the whole day. Oh, I'm lying to you bad. I was feeling sick Wednesday. I didn't leave my room for the whole day Wednesday, and Thursday morning is when I went to get tested. I got tested on Thursday, not Wednesday. I was starting to feel sick on Wednesday, but I got tested on Thursday, right? I guess my aunt was just like, it could just be because you're coming back home, you know what I'm saying? If you see how you feel Thursday, then you go, you take a test. So boom. So I only was in the bathroom for like a couple seconds, and every time I came from the bathroom, went to the bathroom, I came out, I sanitized everything before I leave the bathroom, right? So boom, I'm random. Like I said before, I did not leave my room for the whole day Wednesday, not once. I was in the room. I didn't go to the cafeteria. I didn't go to the library. I didn't say hi to nobody. I didn't do nothing. I just was in my room because I didn't want to be a potential hazard to nobody. I was taking the proper precautions, right? So boom, Thursday we go to take the test come back positive. Call people, tell them, hey, I have COVID, boom, so they could go along with the procedure. So they set up. So I reach back to campus and I tell them that I have COVID. I stayed in my room the whole time, and I pack a bag because I had to end up going to the separate dorms where they have specifically for isolation for students just in case they have COVID. I had to end up packing a bag in order to go down there, right? So that's what the woman told me, to pack a bag so she could go down, because first they had to take me to get tested again. They took me to get the antigen test or something like that, whatever it was. Whatever kind of test they call. Apparently there's 2 kinds of COVID tests. They took me to get a different COVID test or whatever, right? Boom. So after that test came back positive, now they went and they set up the room, blah 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 blah. They gave me a couple of hours to pack my stuff so I could go into the isolation room for the 10 days or whatever. So now, mind you, now I gone down to the isolation room. The whole time they're just trying to get me into the isolation room, blah 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 blah. Pack my bag, pack my fan, all that good shit. And tell me why, right? I had like a little green caddy with like my soap, my face soap, my soap to wash my body, my soap to wash my face, and my toothbrush, my toothpaste. Everything was in the fucking caddy, right? I had it in like a green caddy, and I forget the whole caddy in my room. So the whole time I sleeping on there, I forget my soap to wash my face, I forget my toothbrush, all of that stuff. My mother had to end up bringing me soap, a toothbrush, and a toothpaste. Like all my other facial stuff, I was just gonna have to suck it up and just wash my face with regular soap for the next 10 days. I was so vexed with myself because I forget the whole caddy on the desk. But needless to say, I spent the time in the isolation room. I was only really sick for like 3 days. I was only really feeling the sickness for like 3 days, and then the rest of the 7 days I was just in there chilling, watching movies, having a grand old time. Honestly, I was just watching movies. My mother had dropped me off some remedy she had for me, some honey mixed up with all kind of mock up thing. Mixed up with all kind of mock up thing that she sent for me. So I was drinking that, drinking tea, they were bringing me food, leaving the food at the door like I was a prisoner, blah 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 blah, right? And the 10 days went by. Boom. After the 10 days gone by now, the nurse had come to give me another COVID test, right? Because if you ever have COVID, it still stays in your system for 90 days. But after 10 days, so they say, it shouldn't no longer be in your nose, like you shouldn't be contagious anymore. Basically, what I'm trying to say. So that's what the swabbing test where she gave me back. That's why it's 2 different type of tests. It's one where they just swab the inside of your nose, and the one where they go deep inside, right? So the one where they just swab the little inside is just to see if it's present on the front of your nose. Like if you sneeze, the COVID-19 bacteria will come out, or if it's just gone, if it's no longer there and it's still in your system. You feel me? So it's no longer there. The COVID test that she take me come back negative. So quarantine done, right? So I tell them 10 days done. The nurse tell me that I'm cleared to go. Can I leave? Like, nobody answered me. Like, what's the procedure? You know what I'm saying? I was like, you know, is somebody gonna come and help me carry my stuff back up? Like, what's the tea? So nobody was answering me, I answered all these questions, right? Nobody's answering me. My RA is not answering me. None of them was answering me or whatever. Cool. And so I take matters into my own hands because I was like, I'm not gonna sit on here and wait all the time. So I take matters into my own hands and I call my friend who was on campus. Then when I come back, I asked her, hey, could you help me move some stuff back up to my room? I had my mask still, everything, boom, 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 boom. I had everything in her trunk and she helped me. And I just needed her to borrow her car, help me with her car to move. Because I had like a fan and a big suitcase and all of that extra stuff to carry. So I end up going back to my room now, right? I got back to my room. Boom, everything cool. Got back to my room now. And as soon as I reach back to my room, my RA finally texts me back and tell me that I need to stay in the isolation room until further instructions. So you tell me that after I done move all my stuff back up, I wasn't going back down. There's no way in hell I was going back down there with all that stuff after I just lugged all of my stuff all the way up here. Plus, there was a karaoke event that same night that I wanted to go to. So it just so happened that my quarantine was up the same day. So I tell my RA, I was like, I'm not going back on there because I was waiting for her to tell me what was going on from before and nobody answered me. So I moved back into my room. So they end up letting me go to the karaoke thing or whatever. Then the next morning, so I end up staying in my room. Oh no, I had to end up going back to the room, the isolation room, for that night. After that karaoke thing, I had to end up going back down to the room for the night. So I only packed like a spend a night bag, right? So boom, I'm going back down to the room for the night now. And the next morning, I had a meeting with the housing director, right? I had a meeting with the housing director. I'm like, why y'all being so secretive, so inconspicuous with this shit? Like, I don't understand why y'all making, like, why is nobody communicating with me? Why is nobody telling me what's going on? All I know is that all of a sudden I have a meeting with homegirl this morning. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm just thinking they're gonna just ask me a couple questions, blah 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 blah. Cool. I ain't taking nothing of it, right? I'm here like I appreciate like ask me like how I'm feeling, how do you think you got it, blah 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 blah. Try to go to the meeting, and let me tell you, I got to the meeting, right? And all of a sudden, the woman, she sent me down, right? At first she was asking me how you feeling, blah blah blah. Then she asked me, she was like, are you aware of the risk that you put the students on campus through, or something like that? Are you aware of the risk that you did, blah 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, but while I was feeling sick, I didn't leave my room. And because I was aware of the risk, I didn't leave my room, I didn't go nowhere, I didn't do nothing. So I couldn't have contaminated nobody because I was in my room the whole time. From the time I came to the campus, and I didn't speak to anybody on my way in or on my way out. So what are you talking about? Sure. And then the first time I spoke to somebody for real is after the COVID had done. Right? So she was talking about, oh, the girl that was sharing a floor with you, she was scared, blah blah blah. She was crying, blah 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 blah, because she's talking about, oh, she don't want to get sick, and blah 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 la 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 la, right? So I'm over here like, yeah, okay, get on with it. Because first of all, I had done known like none of UBI anybody working in a housing office, and that's another story for another day, because that whole UBI is just, the staff at that school is just the most unprofessional ghetto ass shit you'll ever deal with in your life. But that's another story for another day, which I probably not even going to tell, because I ain't trying to, it's ain't gonna be one of those videos where I bashing UBI for them to come and sue me. But anyway, moving on, right? Boom. So I don't really don't like the woman. So she in my face talking about all of this blah 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 blah. And I'm over here like, okay, so what's the point? What's the point of this meeting? Like, get to the point. I didn't say it, but I was thinking it. I was just sitting there like, okay. So she's like, are you aware of the terms of your contract that stated about the travel policy? I was like, yeah, I'm aware of it, which is why I told my RA that I was gonna be gone from this date to this date. The woman gonna tell me, look me in my eye, and tell me that my RA say she never had her. I say, what do you mean she never had her before? What do you mean I never tell her? I definitely had made it clear that I was not going to be here. You could ask anybody that was in the initiation practice how much I've been talking about the fact that I was not going to be on island from the 7th to the 11th because I was going to Miami. Everybody in that practice could tell you that I told the RA that information. So how she could sit here and tell you that she never heard her? So I'm over here flabbergasted like, wow, homegirl really said she never heard me tell her that. Boom, right? I'm like, okay, it's whatever. Boom, boom, boom. Get to the point. Next thing you know, she keeps telling me, oh, you're aware that you were supposed to do this, that, and the third before you get COVID. Are you aware? Blah, blah, blah. Are you aware? I'm like, bitch, I was aware of everything. Are you a lawyer? Get to the point. Like, what are we here for? You wasting my time. Like, am I moving back in or what's the tea? Like, what did you really get? Like, get to the point. Like, that's what I'm thinking in my mind. Like, you have me here in this meeting for like 2 hours, an hour, 2 hours, talking. Like, what are you trying to say? What is it? Like, get to the point. Like, I can't stand people just trying to drag out shit. Like, if you're trying to tell me something, just tell me. Like, you frustrating me more. You pissing me off more because you're taking your freaking sweet time to tell me what's tea, right? So she finally gets to the point after 11,000 years, right? And she tell me, because of you violating your housing contract and putting the campus at risk, we're gonna have to terminate your housing contract. So I was like, what does that mean? So I was like, so I have to move out? She was like, yeah, so you have 24 hours or something to move everything out to your dorm. I was like, baby, you don't have to give me 24 hours. I'll be gone today. I'll be gone tonight. I called my mother as soon as I leave to the office. And my mommy, could you come get me, please? I had my bags packed in 3 hours and I was out of there. You didn't have to tell me twice. You did not have to tell me twice. Because, baby, let me tell you something. That was the one of the final nails in the coffin of my journey at UBI. Because I was already mad, disappointed by, not disappointed, unmotivated by UBI. Like, now you should keep in mind, that fall semester 2021 was my last semester at UBI. Like, at the institution, period. I didn't take no more classes after that. So, I was already, like, not feeling UBI no more because I had started to work at a hotel, which had kind of turned me off from the path that I was already on at UBI. So, that was a whole thing that kind of led me to this journey as how I end up here at Full Sail, which is going to be another story time, right? So, boom. The woman tell me they have to terminate my housing contract. You have 24 hours, or they won't give me 24 hours to get off of campus. They didn't say it like that, rule like that, but that basically just said, that's basically what they said. You have 24 hours to get the fuck out. Because this meeting was like 11 o'clock in the morning or something like that. I promise you I was gone by like 6 o'clock. I promise you I was gone out of there by 6 o'clock. After my mother finished work, 5 o'clock, she came and got me and we left. You didn't have to tell me that. You didn't have to tell me twice, 3 times, 4 times, none of that shit. I was gone. So yeah. People have kicked me off of campus because I catch COVID. And now, like, taking back, I'm just like, I know that I wasn't right. I know that I played a part in me getting kicked off of campus because I wasn't supposed to come back to campus until after I test positive, after I got COVID test. But I personally still feel like I made the right decision because if I had gotten tested before I went back to UBI, it would have came back positive. And it's a lot harder to quarantine at my house than it is to quarantine at UBI, because if I was to quarantine at my house is very full of people and not a lot of people and not a lot of space. So I don't even have a space in my house for me to call my own, for me to be able to say I could stay in this room for the whole time. So I would have been putting my family more at risk than these motherfuckers here at UBI, because if I'm quarantining at UBI, I'm quarantining in a separate part of campus people don't even come to. You know what I'm saying? So I feel a little better about putting I'm not gonna put my family at risk than put these random people at UBI that I don't really care about here. because I care more about my family than I do. Basically is what I said, right? So I didn't know that I had COVID when I landed in St. Thomas, obviously, because when I landed in St. Thomas, I felt fine. I only started to feel sick on Wednesday after I reached back to campus. You feel me? So ain't nobody call you Siri? Ain't nobody call you? She always want me and thing, you know. Sure, girl, I always want to answer when nobody calling her, but when I call her, she don't never want to pay attention. Anyway, so I have an elderly grandfather at my house, right? Elderly grandfather, I don't have my own room, I don't have my own space, nothing like that. So I would adapt, and we all share the same bathroom. So at the end of the day, I still feel like I made a better decision for me. It might not have been the better decision for UBI, but it was a better decision for me to go to UBI and get sick at UBI and to quarantine at UBI, because I was not about to put my whole family at risk like that. And if you grew up in a big family in a small house, you know exactly how it is, and you know exactly what I mean. All of us living in close quarters with each other, like up under each other, and we all share the same bathroom. So it would have been a lot harder for me to quarantine at my house. But yeah, that's pretty much what happened. That's pretty much how I get kicked off of campus IU. Yeah, it was very interesting. But when I tell her, but when I tell her, when she tell me that, I was just waiting for her to wrap this meeting up. I had to sign something to say that I, terminate my housing contract, blah 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 blah. And I was out of there because I slammed her door, the front door, everybody's door. I was pissed because I was like, you were kicking me off a campus, and I called my best friend cussing. When I tell you, I called my best friend cussing because I was so red, like I was mad bad, I was just cussing. I was going off because I was like, are you really kicking me off a campus for this? When I didn't put nobody at risk, not a single soul else had catch COVID on that campus besides me for that semester. And you over here talking about you kicking me off a campus because of blah blah blah. And listen, I was mad. I was vexed at the time. Now that obviously I look back and be like, yeah, bitch, you had to get kicked off a campus because you weren't supposed to go back to your campus. But at the end of the day, I still made the better decision for me. So I called my best friend cussing. I'm just like, you can believe this? Blah 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 blah. Cussing going on, right? As soon as I reached my room, I started packing everything. But let me tell you something. I packed my shit quicker than Dina packed her shit in Dream Girls, okay? Quicker. Listen, let me tell you something. My mother was outside quicker than Dina. Mother was outside waiting in the car when Dina was ready to leave fucking Curtis, okay? I was out of there. Okay, I had my bags packed quicker than Charles had Helen shit packed, ready to go. Okay? But let me tell you, I was there sitting down, all my suitcases packed, ready, sitting down, waiting for my to shit outside, and I was out of there. I ain't talked to nobody else after that day. I ain't listen, UVI could have sucked my dick. The last time I was on UVI campus for a UVI event after that day was when we had our a little ball or something, some kind of dance, something they had, and that's the last time I was on UVI. But baby, let me tell you something. Everybody that I was at UVI with at the time that I was supposed to be cool with, when I got to the people and ball, right? Why some people side eyeing me? I see people watching me crazy, like they probably don't hear about the situation, blah 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 blah. People watching me crazy, said I me and stuff. People that were on the committees that was on stuff. Cause let me tell you something. I had my foot in UBI. I was probably on every committee that could ever exist. Queen's committee, everybody committee, right? So we was in the midst. I was in the middle of planning this very same event, so I wasn't gonna miss it. Girl, when I tell you, people were side eyeing me. They were talking shit. They were mumbling under their breath. I was over here like, when are y'all gonna grow the fuck up? People were just moving real weird at me after that day. I was just like, you know what? That's the thing about situational friendships. When you have situational friendships, when they're only friends with you in that specific scenario, like when you have class together, or when you're in school together, or when you're in doing different stuff together, like if you're in band, or if you're on a team, or stuff like that. And that's the only or if you work together, that's the only reason why y'all are friends, and y'all don't really communicate outside of those areas. Environment is what I want to say. Y'all don't really communicate outside of those environments. That's when I start to realize, okay, all are safe. But yeah, after that just kind of put the one of the final nails in the coffin of my downward spiral into of UVI, which I'm gonna save for another story time. But let me know if you want to hear more UVI stories. I have a lot of UVI stories. Like a whole bunch. I could tell you a whole. I could have a channel alone based on UVI stories. But let me know if you want to hear more of my UVI chronicles. That's concludes the end of this story time basically. Yeah, so that's the story of the time I got kicked off of campus for COVID. Yeah. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the story time. I hope you guys were entertained. Comment down below if you have questions, if you want to say anything, you know what I'm saying, if you have any similar stories, you know, let me know. Talk to me in the comments, you feel me? And yeah, so don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching my story time, and be sure to come back every single Friday for a brand new video, and make sure you hit that subscribe button and that bell so you can be notified every time I upload, because why wouldn't you be? Why wouldn't you want to see my face every Friday? Like, yeah. But yeah, do that, be flat, and stay lovely. Deuces.